Hey everyone. If you're from the Unimoon team, please raise your hand and I'll pop you off mute. Hope everyone's doing well today, or this afternoon, this morning, wherever you're from in the world. Sorry everyone, just waiting on the Unimoon team to join. Hey Carl. Hey Carl, how you going, buddy?
Hey, pretty good. There we go. How's it going?
Nice, man. Nice to hear from you.
Nice to be heard.
Who else from your team is chatting to us today?
I see a couple. So Dale's gonna pop in, and Saya's gonna pop in as well.
Okay, so I'll just hang out and wait for them a little bit. Were they in the chat already? I just can't see them. Oh, yep, Saya's here. I'll mute Saya. I think they're the only ones I can see at the moment. All right, how you going? How's your day?
It's going well. Going well. Busy. The days are all running together right now, so things are going well.
I can imagine. I've been so pumped to chat to you guys about Unimoon. It seems like it's going to be a very big project, and yeah, but I love the fact that you guys are doxed and all of that sort of stuff. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, and it's especially the past, I would say 12 to 24 months. I think, especially in the crypto community, it's important, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if it carries as much weight as it used to. However, it's one of those important attributes. It's for a project.
Mm-hmm.
Hey
Dale.
Hey,
how you doing, buddy?
Hey, are we doing a video?
That's up to you, mate. You can do whatever you like. It's on record, so
Great.
it's
Would love to.
you.
Yeah, I think it's good. We like to be as transparent as possible, and that includes showing our faces. Happy to do that.
Sweet. Go for it. Sounds good.
All right.
I was just saying to Carl that I'm super excited to talk to you guys. I've been anticipating this project for a few days now.
Yeah, we're excited to share the gospel.
Yeah. All right. Oh, there we go. There's Dale.
So
nice.
You guys, you're recording this, right?
Yes, all on record. I'll send it to you after this AMA, and then that way you can share it with whoever you like afterwards. But yeah, glad to have you. On behalf of Pinksale, thank you. And my name is Shono. I am the AMA host, and I call myself resident DJ, but whichever you like. How about you guys? We'll just get an introduction into your team, if you don't mind telling us who you are and how you got into crypto and that sort of stuff, just to get to know you a bit more.
Yeah, sure. So my name is Dale Song. I'm the founder of Unimoon. Have been involved in crypto since 2014. I remember making the first transfer. It was pretty wild because before then, you would want to transfer money around the world or anywhere. You'd have to go through a bank, and it takes a few days to do some sort of bank remittance. And so I remember sending myself $5,000 in Bitcoin. At the time, it was like 25 Bitcoins, but it was it like settled in like 5 minutes, and it was it was like a big deal to me because I was just blown away by the fact that you could send actual money to yourself in that quickly amount of time. So, you know, I read through the white paper. I started understanding like the double spending theory, started understanding validators and servers and things like this. And I just got really interested in cryptocurrency, really understanding the whole idea around decentralization. And so this was, this was a really defining moment for me. Later on, I stayed in the space since 2014, served as an advisor to multiple projects. And then, I've typically had been really invested in blue chip projects, you know, projects that had really just focused on building a layer 1 protocol. And that's what I primarily had invested in and really put my energy into since the start of once I was established into the industry in crypto. But it wasn't until very recently that I decided that I would create a project that would take the whole entire industry to the next level. Because we've seen the technology, it's been validated. We've seen the use cases, we've seen the potential. At this point now, I think the next, to really reach the next level, that would be mainstream adoption. So just bridging this gap, breaking down all the technology barriers so anybody can utilize crypto. And that's really what the focus is with Unimoon. I have a background as well in entertainment. I went to the University of Southern California. I studied film, and I have representation in the entertainment industry. But you know, before I even got into entertainment, I had been involved in crypto. So crypto and blockchain, this has always been a deep passion of mine because I saw the potential, the technology, and now we have a way to leverage technology and couple social media to really be able to change the way that we can use technology, change the way that we see money, really defining a new exchange of value, being able to translate and exchange people's human energy into this instant feedback loop through our social media platform, which would be powered by our layer 1 blockchain. So it's incredibly exciting. I think that this is a really great time to be able to come out with a new innovative technology that focuses on the mainstream adoption. So I'm incredibly excited. And Carl, I'll let Carl take the floor, but Carl is, he's got a wealth of experience. He brings a huge amount of capability, technical expertise, incredible background. He's focuses in enterprise fintech solutions, focusing on consumer user end applications. So you know, he is the best man for this job to be able to help me put this together. But I'll let Carl take the floor now.
Quite the intro.
Hey, thanks. Hopefully, I can move up to it. So the interesting thing is, and I'll start with the background. Everybody seems to go like when they read the white paper, Bitcoin, etc. So I dabbled probably 2012, 2013-ish, and I wrote it off. I thought Bitcoin was shit. I absolutely did. Right? I thought nothing of it. I played around with the core client, you know, and it was one of those things where I was digging out old laptops about 4 or 5 years ago. I'm like, crap, do I have any old wallets? But I totally wrote it off. I've been focused on enterprise technology, you know, enterprise IT for as long as I can remember. So I've been in the industry 15 years-ish. I'm a computer scientist by trade. So I have a computer science degree, really focused on really the math part of CS, right? Less the development, but the math part of CS. And then I ended up in enterprise IT and enterprise software, actually developing, delivering, architecting large-scale solutions. The solutions I've developed have been used by tens of millions of users. You'd know them if I mention them, but I won't mention them. But it tends to be enterprise IT is very different, right, than even open source or retail consumer technology. But I totally wrote off blockchain in general, right? It seemed like a novel. It wasn't an invention to me. I never thought of blockchain or crypto as that, right? When I used to talk to me about crypto, it was cryptography. It was all cryptography, not cryptocurrency. Back in the PKI days when RSA was a big deal in the 90s, right? That's the kind of crypto that I kind of dove into, being able to do RSA and things like that. And just kind of, I saw it as novel, right? It was, you read Satoshi's white paper, and I was not blown over by it, right? It's like it was a novel type thing, right? He's taking a bunch of existing technologies, stitching them together, and creating something novel. Which, in and of itself, you look back, and that's the biggest innovation. It's not creating something new; it's taking existing technologies, putting together, and then kind of doing a 1 + 1 = 3 or 4, right? Is that all this stuff has been proven? You put together linked lists, you put together elements of PKI, right? And you have something novel, right? And I think that's the biggest genius. It's not the invention of blockchain, it's the assembly of blockchain, right? Thomas Edison didn't invent electricity, he created a light bulb. Ben Franklin didn't invent electricity, he kind of recognized that it was out there, right? So it's these, and I think that's a big deal, your perspective, right? And at these types of things. So and again, I totally wrote it off, and it just built enterprise software, and then, it gets to a point where you start seeing this cross-pollination between enterprise software and things that are going on in the crypto space, right? It's not so much from a currency standpoint, but it's how you move goods, how you can do trade finance, right? Cross-border payments, et cetera. And it's really not so much about, representing a type of currency. It's representing kind of a good or service, right? At that point, how do you get it from one party to another? How do you efficiently govern it, right? In a decentralized way? How do you create multi-member marketplaces and multi-member consortia that each have equal says, right? How do you get companies and countries to play together with technology without trying to step on each other's toes and making sure everybody plays by the same rules? So the past 5 years, there's been a lot of emergence of that in the enterprise space, right? Talking to Dale, kind of mid-year earlier this year, and I wanted to get back into the consumer space, right? Just an interesting project, and I think this is, again, we're not. It's kind of in Satoshi's vein, right? Because we're not creating anything necessarily new. We're taking a bunch of existing stuff that already has been proven at scale, putting it together in a novel way, right? Where social media and social networks have already existed, right? And there's some best practices, right? Facebook does really well. TikTok does very well. IG does very well. They have elements of things that they do well, right? What they don't do well is self-sovereignty. They don't do identity very well, right? Knowing who I am and making sure that I have provenance for my actions, they don't do that very well. There's a bunch of people in the middle that kind of levy a roll tax, right? I don't need Facebook. I don't need their 2,000 member marketing team. I don't need the software developers that are writing ad technology I don't need that, right? If I want to post family pictures or I want to make a video and post it and kind of get really creative, I don't need those roll taxes, right? But you're still paying for them as a user of their ecosystem. So if you're paying for them, right, why shouldn't instead of you paying for them, you should be getting more energy back, right? And that's what's interesting about the Unimoon project, and that's kind of what I'm looking forward to kind of building out and scaling with Dale.
Well, yeah, I quite the intro from all of you to your team. Like I said, this is one of the most anticipated projects for myself. I'm really keen on this project, and I know that now speaking to you guys, the audience in this chat will be as well. So just before we get into actual Unimoon token itself or the project a little bit more, I'll just let everybody else know on the chat. Check the pin links in the Pinksale chat. You'll see the Unimoon poster that has links to their Telegram and their website. So feel free to join, ask as many questions there as you like, as well as check out their website. It's phenomenal. I'm telling you right now, it is amazing. Everybody on this chat's going to get a whitelist, unlimited whitelists, which is, we've never done this before. So I'm going to get some, and I hope you guys do too. So just now let's I guess let's get started into Unimoon and delve a little bit deeper into the actual project and utility of that, if you don't mind.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, by the way, we have a light paper that's available on our website. You guys can go to unimoon.io. We have a light paper over there, and we're working on completing the academic white paper, which is just going to be more elaborated ideas and concepts from the light paper. But yeah, the light paper gives you guys a very good idea of the full ecosystem of what we're looking to build, the abstract, the problem, to the solution. And yeah, it's light. It's a light paper. It's 17 pages. The academic white paper, the academic it is a light paper though, but the academic white paper will be obviously a little bit more thicker than the light paper. And awesome. Our site as well. We're actually we did a rebrand with a new logo, new style for the typeface, and we're actually going to be having a new website that would be updated. I'm estimating by tomorrow or Friday, so within the next 48 hours. Yeah, we're really excited. It has all of our new branding and design updated to it. So yeah, same great content, just the next level.
Oh, great. All right. Yeah, take us through Unimoon. More so, what it does in depth, of what the actual project does, because most of the time in crypto, as you guys would be aware, is that you see all these fancy names and websites, and there's zero utility aside from a bit of a reflection or some sort of reward. But I can see that this has got a technology and a big project backing behind it. So take us through that if you don't mind.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. So Unimoon is the first layer 1 blockchain that is built to decentralize social media. So basically what we're doing is developing a very familiar user experience. Everybody in the world, my mom included, is familiar and has used TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, all these social media applications. There's more people actually that are on social media than people have a bank account. And so it just makes sense that this would be the natural progression to really tap into mainstream adoption, because we all know the benefits of cryptocurrency, taking out the middleman, it's trustless, it's immutable. There's all these really great benefits, but people, there's still this technology barrier. It's very difficult for someone that has no experience in crypto to come in and teach someone how to bridge from Polygon to Ethereum to Binance Smart Chain. It's just not going to happen. But we can make it really, really easy to do. And essentially, people will be able to use our social media application, which is called Unimoon. And by using Unimoon, it would just be this frictionless experience where people aren't going to even know that they're functioning on the blockchain. So they would be doing all the things that you're already doing on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook. Everything that you're already doing, uploading, liking, commenting, sharing. But now, because we're incorporating this blockchain component to it, powered by our own layer 1 blockchain, we're integrating the smart contracts that we're developing right now that would calculate and distribute rewards of our native token Unimoon to all the users on the network. So all of the activity that you're doing, you are now going to get credit for it paid in Unimoon. Essentially, how this works is a media object or a piece of content, a video, a picture, will get uploaded onto the network. And then what happens is, just like in TikTok or Instagram, it'll get pushed to an audience. But the more likes and the more shares and the more comments, the more activity, the more type of content variety that a piece of content receives, it will go to the next tier of an audience where it'll get shared to a bigger, wider audience, and that will continue to go up that the tiers until it goes to like a discovery for you page. And at this point, and during these phases and going through these tiers, this media object or this piece of content will accrue for the user that uploaded that content a social activity coefficient. So we call this the social activity coefficient, the value that this content is accruing based on the content's variety of likes, comments, shares, downloads, and this type of variety over the content velocity. So how many times it's been played, how fast, measuring that time component to it. And based on these measurements and these factors, this media content that was uploaded by a specific user will accrue that social activity coefficient. All the users on the network will have this social activity coefficient. And then essentially the smart contracts will just rank all the different people, all the different users. And then the layer one blockchain will distribute, calculate those rewards, and it will distribute to everyone in the network that's using Unimoon. And Unimoon, again, is essentially just a social media end user application that is just powered by the layer one blockchain. And some people might ask, like, well, why develop even a layer one blockchain? Why not use existing blockchains? Yeah, like for us, it's really important that we have the ability to control the environment, especially when we're testing it out, when this is in the first iteration of MVP, which we are currently already in development. So we're expecting to have MVP launched for Unimoon and Unimoon, so the social media application and the layer one blockchain, within 3 months. And we need to be able to control the test environment. We need to be able to, and also at scale, we need to be able to control the transactional fees. There's no point in having a network where we get 1 billion people to use it, but then we see transactional fees or gas fees, like similar to Ethereum, just astronomically high, right? I mean, right. It wouldn't make sense for somebody to try to claim their tokens from Unimoon, from within Unimoon application, if there's 1 billion people on the network and it's too congested, and now you have to pay $100 or $500 to claim your rewards. So we wanted to be able to have that base layer where we can control that scalability and also control that testing environment. But that's what we're looking to do, and we're already in development. And we're, like Carl was saying earlier, we're not developing completely brand new technology. We're using existing technology. We're forking Solana. For our layer one blockchain, it's going to be a fork of Solana, which is clocks before consensus. Their consensus algorithm is based on proof of history, which essentially just allows the validator nodes to validate transactions quicker because they're not going back in time. They have a clock set up within the network. So now validator nodes don't have to go back and forth to make sure that a transaction has happened before. Right. But yeah, it's a highly performant blockchain. And so we wanted to start with the best structure that we could, focusing into the future, thinking about the scalability, looking and seeing really where social media networks are at right now, right? Like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok combined is over 4.4 billion users. So Unimoon would really just integrate all of these different functionalities. Like there's no need to have Instagram and TikTok and Facebook. Like, we could put this all in one, right? I mean, it's like smart TVs and iPhones today. Like, iPhone, you don't carry around your music player, your phone player, your planner. You have all of that ability in a smartphone. So same thing with a social media app. It should just all be nicely functioning in a highly performant social media application. So we'll have RSS feeds, we'll have images, we'll have videos, and we'll have just that functionality where you can switch between these different functionalities for what you want, the type of content that you want to create or consume.
Beautiful. We'll have to call you Dale Zuckerberg, I think, at the end of this. Yeah, like I said, that I was looking through the website the last few days, and like, yeah, it's well presented. There's a video of you on the homepage, so it makes me feel like it's not a scam, it's not a shit project. You guys are putting big effort in, and we can see both of your faces now, and your team operates very efficiently, very professionally. So instantly that gives me the confidence to be able to invest in your project and try to support you guys to reach the goals that you're trying to achieve. And I think what you're trying to achieve is definitely game changing, and for that reason I feel like you'll get a lot of support from investors outside in the outside world, you know what I mean? So I think congrats to you and the team for doing all the right things, and for obviously trying to implement a really good technology. I commend that.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, all right. Well, we've got a lot of people on this AMA at the moment. It's still growing as well. I'm on your website and just noticed. I thought it might have been closed, but you've got a private sale that's available at the moment. Can you just talk us through?
Not at the moment. Actually, it'll start tomorrow. It's actually about 24 hours from now. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah, my bad. It's the 28th here in Melbourne, Australia, but it's 27th UTC. So.
No. It would be it would be the 28th, 7 p.m. UTC. That'll be the first private sale. 28th, 7 p.m. UTC.
28th, 7 p.m. UTC. I'm going to write that down, 7 p.m. UTC. And max contribution for those, just for everybody on here. I'll just quickly open that.
5 BNB.
5 BNB. Cool.
Yeah. 0.1 minimum to 5 BNB. That'll be the first. That'll be the first private sale, October 28th, 7 p.m. UTC. Then we have another one on November 2nd. This will be 0.1 minimum contribution up to 8 BNB. And then we'll have the final public presale on Pinksale's platform. That would be 0.1 BNB to 10 BNB.
Wow. Crazy. And I see you guys have a 2,400 BNB hard cap, which I can see being a sellout within minutes, which would set a new record for us, which is good to see. But just so everybody can have a little bit more confidence in purchasing the private sale, how does that work? How does that work for the investor?
Yeah, so we're working with Banker Doge. Banker Doge is another team that project that utilized blockchain pros. So I know the owner and the dev of that project, and we've had some really great conversations. And yeah, so we're actually using their pre-sale platform, and essentially you will go onto their site. You just click into purchasing tokens. What will happen is you put in the desired amount that you'd like to contribute, anywhere from ranging from 0.1 BNB to 5 BNB. You'll see the rate for this particular private sale. It would be 1 BNB is equivalent to 100 billion Unimoon. And so depending on how much you contribute, that would be reflected accordingly. And you'll be able to claim these tokens after our LP is set up, after finalizing on the Pinksale platform. So after the Pinksale platform has been finalized and the LP has been set up, then we will allow these tokens from the private sale to be claimable. The reason why we do that is to make sure that there isn't any hiccups or any problems with the tokens being set up on another liquidity pool, as you guys are familiar with.
Awesome. Dale, one thing that I will note is on the private sale, it lists the price as being 3 million.
Yeah, that's incorrect. It's not. Yep. That's not right. On the day of, we will be we're gonna have another AMA with Banker Doge, so we'll be on voice call while this happens. But yeah, the rate will be adjusted properly. Basically, they just used another, because this isn't the first pre-sale that they've been working with for other projects. Essentially, what they did is just overwrite the previous project's information with ours. But what happens is they pull the data, the ABI, from the actual contract, and that'll pull properly with the proper rate. So again, for the private sale 1, which is October 28th at 7 p.m. UTC, the rate will be 1 BNB, equivalent to 100 billion Unimoon.
Wow, cool. Thank you very much for that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess your team's spoken about, you know, the intro, how the project works, where you see it going, all that sort of stuff. Maybe before we get into the tokenomics and like auditing sort of process, can you just talk us through quickly the marketing plan and any partnerships that you've developed or got outstanding? Some may be secret, and that's fine if you want to keep it like that. But if anything you can share with us would be great.
Yeah, so we are currently working with Blockchain Pros. They are a fabulous, exceptional marketing launch agency. Currently, we've brought on a design branding agency. We're currently also right now interviewing with different marketing agencies post-launch for the pre-sale. So once we're on PancakeSwap, we would have another marketing agency that would help further with advertising, banner ads, you know, all that type of marketing advertising component. And we're starting a social media campaign with heavy amount of content marketing. So Carl and I have already begun discussing some ideas. It would be in the format of 52 articles / videos, which would be, I guess, like a series, so to speak, of different problems within the industry, the solutions that we see, just other histories of the industry of cryptocurrency or fiat currency, and then also discussing the vision and the plans, showcasing the progress of our project. So we're really going to be focusing on developing and delivering a lot of content to help with marketing and for advertising. But we're bringing on another agency, and we're currently just interviewing to find the right fit for us.
Nice. Thank you.
As far as like partnerships, I don't know, Carl, what if we could touch upon like the decentralized cloud storage.
Yeah, we can't really comment on kind of technology partnerships right now, just because it's so early, right? We want to get to MVP first. But the goal is to use truly as much of the Web3 ecosystem as possible. So there have been other attempts to decentralize social media over the past several years, and arguably they have not gained mass adoption, right? So, you know, if you kind of stick with our project, you'll hear me talk about the chasm model. The chasm model is something that's known in business and technology, and specifically software, where startups begin. Everybody wants to do a startup. Everybody has great technology ideas. They're innovative, and it looks like a graph, right? Just an XY plot, right? What happens is user adoption, whether it's a business to business or business to consumer, tends to get to a point, and then it either takes off, a parabolic exponentially, in a parabola, or it dies, right? And that point right there is called the chasm. And some people call it, crossing the chasm essentially as a project. That means you hit some kind of critical mass, right? We see a lot of this in DeFi. We see a lot of this in the kind of the crypto and Web3 spaces. There's a lot of these projects that kind of just limp along and don't cross a chasm of adoption, right? So that's something we're very keen to look at. That means that we're going to be using a lot of Web3 technology. So we'll be forming partnerships with Web3 entities over time, right? Once, we have to prove ourselves, right? We're not just going to jump out and say we're partners with everyone. We have some stuff to prove, right? We have to prove our MVP out. We have to prove our approach. We have to prove that we have product market fit, that people either love us or hate us or give us good feedback, et cetera. There's a lot that we have to prove as far as, developing our vision and executing on it. So as we kind of get going and as we use more of the Web3 technologies, we're excited to kind of collaborate with different organizations in Web3. And we're also excited to collaborate with, this may come back to bite me, I'll say it anyways, is legacy providers, right? So there's a lot of incumbent technology companies out there that are thirsty for getting into the Web3 and the crypto space, right? And we're trying to build something greenfield essentially, right? We're taking existing Web3 technologies and putting together. However, it's much easier for us to do this than it is to Facebook to kind of add, fully backed Ethereum processing to their platform, right? They can do it in bits and pieces very tactically, but you can't, kind of wipe out Facebook and, have it, basically Polygon backed or Ethereum backed or something like that, right? So where it's meaningful to the end user, there's meaningful workflow there, not just talking about coin transactions, but I'm talking about measuring user activity, right? Which is what we're aiming to do. So, we're excited, once we kind of get MVP out the door, which is kind of all hands on deck, now, we'll explore different partnerships in the legacy space and the emerging Web3 space.
Great. Thank you very much. Like I said, phenomenal. The amount of effort and planning and stuff into this project is great. Look, I think I've taken up enough time in terms of asking questions. I don't know if you'd like to discuss tokenomics, but we have climbing towards 200 participants in this AMA, and I know that they'll be desperate to ask questions. I'm not sure if you want to touch on the tokenomics quickly, or should we just start with questions?
Yeah. Well, the full breakdown of the way that the tokens are structured is in the light paper. So there are tokens such as like the team tokens, foundation tokens, further development, further marketing, because quite frankly, even at 3,400 BNB total raise, it would not be enough to actually develop fully what we're looking to do, to create a truly decentralized ecosystem that has a fully implemented, functioning, decentralized autonomous organization. So we have added in development and marketing, further development, further marketing. But the way that we're going to have this set up is, for example, like team tokens is 10%. We burn those and we will pre-mine those back in Genesis on the layer 1 blockchain. So we're not going to have these tokens unlocked or locked and then move them and migrate. It just seems easier to burn them right now along with foundation tokens. 7.5% of the development tokens, 9.2% of marketing tokens. So these tokens have been burned. So if people are looking into, if you look on BSC scan right now, you'll see roughly around 50% of the total supply has been burned. 20% has been was allocated originally to be burned. So you'll see around roughly 50% of the tokens are burned, and this is the reason why. Rather than having these other tokens that aren't going to serve any purpose right now, we thought it would be better to just burn them and then pre-mine these other tokens that were burned back into the at Genesis for our layer 1 blockchain. In terms of the actual like tokenomics for like taxes and this type of like reflections, yeah, these are going to be adjustable. But as of right now, we have them set at 13% for the buy tax. This breaks down for 3% for the marketing wallet, 3% for the development wallet, 3% for liquidity, 3% for redistributions, and then 1% for auto burns. So this is 13. That adds up to 13% for the buy. For the sell side, it would just be double. So it would be 6% all across for marketing wallet, development wallet, auto swap liquidity, redistributions, and then the auto burns would stay at 1%. So gotcha. Yeah, this is to really discourage people from selling or paper hands, like jumping into the project and just selling out at like 1.5x, 2x, 5x like this, because we are a long-term project. We want to give ourselves the best opportunity to develop, and we don't want people just coming in for a quick turnaround to dump on the project. So the goal long-term, once we migrate and we have a very self-sustaining project and we have advertising revenue generated on the actual platform, we would eliminate the taxes. We would eliminate fees. There would be no transactional taxes either. So if you wanted to mint an NFT, if you wanted to confirm a transaction, the goal would be to completely eliminate all of those transactional fees. So this is really just focused more on the development to really gear up to get to that MVP stage and to be able to create the best MVP that we can, because we can create these products, but if the user experience isn't good, if people have the ability to earn rewards, and the smart contracts are doing what they do, they calculate and they distribute rewards, but the user experience is garbage. I mean, if there's like transactional hash IDs and people are, it still feels like crypto, it's not gonna work.
Yeah.
TikTok and Instagram and Facebook, they're like flawless applications. They've spent millions and millions of dollars perfecting the way that consumer uses an application. So anything below that, right? Anything below that sort of user experience just doesn't fly. Like, people don't have the attention span that they do to say, well, I'll get my reward, so I'll wait 1 hour for videos to get uploaded. It doesn't work like that. There's a certain level of experience that people are used to, that they would expect in a consumer user application. So yeah, to reiterate, that's really where all the development is going to go. The funds, we have 70% of the LP, or 70% of the raised funds on Pinksale, which would be 2,400. So 70% would go into the LP. 30% would be for development and marketing. So 30% of 2,400, this would be 720 BNB. So the rest of that 2,400, it would be 1680. So 1680 BNB would be allocated, if we fill hard cap, it would be allocated to the liquidity pool. So that's how that breaks down with the tokenomics, the tax structures.
Yeah. Yeah, and just quickly, sorry, you did mention it, that just briefly, the buy and sell tax, what was that again?
So buy tax would be 13%, and then sell tax would be 25%. But yeah, these are not set in stone. This is just a starting point for us to allow proper price discovery, allow development of the project.
Yeah, yeah. I would you're probably all over it anyway, but I would suggest an anti-bot sort of measure on launch as well. We've seen big success with that sort of stuff, but you guys know what you're doing, so I'll just leave it to you. All right, let's get some questions, because we've got about 15 minutes left.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Dale, what I will do is, if you can just send, or even Carl, send me a private message. What I'll do is, I will create a separate private group, and drop a link in the Pinksale chat. And then what will happen is, at the end of this AMA, everybody who's on this voice chat will join that private group, and it will be like a whitelist group. They can list all their wallets in there, so that way you've got everything in the one place. And then I'll delete the link within, say, 5 minutes of people joining, so that nobody else can join that group. How does that sound?
Yeah, that sounds good. We were just that's even better. But yeah, you'll just set up a private group for all the people that are here. They can add their wallets, and then we'll just get them added into the whitelist.
Perfect. Yeah. Otherwise, almost 200 people would be very hard for me to sit here getting usernames.
That works.
Right. Sweet. Let's get some questions. Brink, 36.
So I apologize if you covered this in the first part, but so because I got in a few minutes late, but what exactly will the tokens be used for, other than people getting paid in tokens based off how they use the platform?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the whole entire ecosystem is really focused on utility. So there's going to be different features and premium features that users can access. In addition to all of this data that's going to be aggregated on the platform, essentially what happens is that people will, or advertisers rather, are going to want to have access to this data. So in order for them to have access to this data and advertise onto the network, they would have to purchase Unimoon, and they would have to spend Unimoon on the network to be able to advertise. So there's going to be this perpetual buy pressure for the network, because anybody that wants to have access to this data, there's going to be better transparency of data, better KPIs, better analytics for people to be able to, advertisers to be able to come onto the network and to be able to utilize the blockchain in a very transparent way to leverage the data for better KPIs. Because in terms of advertising, this is the way advertising is done. You engage with specific analytical data. You have specific KPIs to measure results, and then you make adjustments to increase ROI. But with this platform, we will have better transparency and better KPI data for advertisers to be able to utilize. And all of that would be done through using the Unimoon coin. Also, we mentioned the decentralized autonomous organization. So if you guys read in the white paper, you'll read that we touched upon governance, and governance would really be about finding a balance, checks and balances. So, because what we've seen in the past is that there are DAOs, there are governance voting functionalities on other protocols, but they're not balanced, because it's based on whoever has the most amount of tokens has the most amount of weight in voting. So that isn't fair, right? That wouldn't be a truly decentralized autonomous organization. So what Carl and I have been discussing is developing a multi-body sortition, which would help utilize a more fair, more decentralized way to help shape the future ecosystem of the network. So again, that would be based on being a holder, and having Unimoon. But yeah, there's also going to be NFTs. So this NFT component would be later on, once the NFT component is really developed, people would potentially be able to send in Unimoon to be able to participate in an NFT crowd loan, which would support any sort of content creator. Maybe they do photography, maybe they do Carl always talks about pimple popping. So maybe they're doing pimple popping and they want to take this to the next level, and they want to make like a short film on it. But they have this NFT crowd loan, and then they can raise a certain amount to maybe have an exhibition or short film, or maybe even a feature film based on this pimple popping, because they have 5,000 followers and they love his content. So we'll be able to have a lot of different use cases specifically around different functionalities for promoting content, accessing certain features, being a part of having some sort of like monthly subscriptions, different options, accessing different features, premium features, things like this.
Great. Thank you.
And
thanks.
I do want to follow up briefly, right? So I've got to stress that, and Dale touched on this, the goal of the token is to kind of represent activity within the network, right? Within the Unimoon network. So, and Dale is, you know, I'm not concerned about price at all, right? And I don't think Dale so much, frankly, is either. I know what the AMA is about. However, it represents activity within the ecosystem, right? When you post something and you consume content, etc., the token really represents an association to a human's activity on the network relative to their identity, right? If you read our light paper, we actually have directional implementations today of what our thesis is, what's broken with social media currently, where we think it's going in the next several years, 5 years. There's a 20-year plan called out for Unimoon in the light paper. So much like automotive companies have done in the past, automotive companies, Japanese automakers have 5-year, 20-year, 100-year plans. One might have a 300-year plan. I can't remember, right? But the point is that they think long-term, right? So we've actually called out what some of the features and functionality we believe will be important to ecosystems, our ecosystem in 5 years and in 20 years, right? So these are things that exist now as far as our thought, our analysis and our implementations. They exist now, right? So not the technical implementation, but the philosophical implementation, the analytics, the analysis that we've done, that exists now in that white paper, right? We'll expand on it in the academic white paper more as far as how we actually implement it technically, right? But the direction is all there, right? And it's critical that we use the token to represent that activity, right? Because the humans of the network need to be able their actions and their activity, right? And there's no measurement today. It's all opaque. When you work with Facebook or you use Facebook, you're the product. Everybody's heard that. The human's the product, right? They sell their analytics and their footprints and their fingerprints to advertisers, and then they create an auction system for advertisers to basically put experiences and retail suggestions in front of users, right? We're trying to short circuit all that, right? To make it much more efficient, frankly, for the users to create and post content, but also more efficient for them to have provenance over their own online identities. That does not exist today. You don't have your own identity. Facebook has your identity. Google has your identity. Absolutely. You don't have it.
Yeah, so that's actually a really good point. Self-sovereignty is really a big focal point, right? So the coin is just an extension of that. And really what we want to be able to emphasize is that this coin is essentially going to be an extension of your human energy. So what you put in onto the network, you will be able to you'll be able to receive. So ultimately what this would become is a new exchange of value. Because the beautiful thing about this is that you'll be able to put up a piece of content and literally nearly instantly within a 24-hour epoch time interval, you'll have this instant feedback loop, right? How good is your content and how many Unimoon coins are you receiving? So the better content that you're putting out, and it doesn't necessarily have to mean like it's really shot with like a very expensive camera or like something like this, but actual like content that resonates with people. And that could be something personal to you. It could be just a natural gift or talent that you have, but people will have more incentive, better motivation than ever before, because they will be able to double down on the things that they have passion for, and to be able to have an actual opportunity to be able to explore that path. And so that's the thing that's really interesting for me. And I think that's essentially, when you get a little bit deeper into the philosophical standpoint of what Unimoon is really looking to create, it's to really have an extension of creating a more instant, newer, more modern exchange of value.
Gotcha. That sounds good. Thank you very much. All right, we'll get one more question in, and then we'll start to wrap up this AMA. Caleb, take it away. Caleb.
Can you hear me?
Can hear you, buddy.
Yeah, the question I want to ask is, marketing is always seen as a big problem in every project. So what is your plan to implement your marketing strategy to make your project become more popular, since you're gonna be making use of the social platform?
Thanks,
Yeah. So yeah, we, earlier on, we talked about doing a content marketing, which would really be just showing that we've put a lot of attention and thought into the details of how to execute Unimoon and how to really make it stand out, and why we're doing it, what the problem is, what our solution is, and how we're going to do that, along with showing the progress of where we started, where we are today. And I think that content marketing is going to be one of the most effective ways, along with focusing on really good development, right? So yeah, we're also bringing on a marketing agency that's going to help with advertising, banner ads, all that great stuff. But I think that one of the most effective will be with specifically content marketing, doing like a kind of an inner look, kind of behind the scenes, more of like who we are, what we're doing, what we believe in, and having more of that content pushed out on our social media channels. So that's currently what we're focusing on right now. Brought in already a design social media branding agency, and we're already coming out with the first few articles of this content marketing series that we're going to be implementing very soon.
Great. Well, yeah, thanks everybody. It's been an absolute pleasure chatting to you guys on this AMA. I must say, I'm pumped. To let everybody else know in this chat who's desperate to get their hands on a whitelist, and I understand why, I will post a link in the Pinksale chat. It will be available for 5 minutes only, and then I will delete that. Please just post your wallet address in the whitelist chat, because I have put a time restriction, a rather large time restriction on messages, so you'll get one message only. So make it count. The reason I've done this is to stop people inviting hundreds of other people and posting random rubbish. We just need your wallet addresses to make it easy for the Unimoon team to whitelist you, and so that nobody misses out. If you can do that, that would be great. Otherwise, Unimoon team, Dale, Carl, I'd love to hear some final words before we send you off to success, if that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I thank you guys for having us. Yeah, we're incredibly excited to do something that's really innovative and to push and challenge the space forward, to really take our strengths, our passions, and to put it into something that is really cohesive and understandable for everybody to be able to use. So yeah, we're incredibly excited to do this, and I think that it'll be quite a journey, very exciting. I'm looking forward to the future with this.
Beautiful, thank you. Thanks. All right, Carl, did you have anything to say, or we can finish off?
I'll echo Dale's comments, right? We're excited to kind of take the sharp edges off of crypto, right? So basically crypto for grandma, right? She wants to look at her grandkids' pictures. She wants to see what her grandkids, you know, they're stitching together TikTok videos of, you know, youth athletic games, football matches, soccer matches, European football matches, basketball, etc. She can't do that now, right? She you know, she has to go to the Facebooks of the world. She has to go to some less the IGs of the world. Crypto is really kind of the great equalizer, right? And we need to take the sharp edges off it for grandma to use.
Beautiful. Yeah, and So yeah, one last thing. We've seen that crypto has been incredibly beneficial and useful for the people that know how to use it, for people that know how to really leverage DeFi, decentralized finance. And what we're looking to do in terms of industry within crypto is to decentralize media. So we're pioneering this entire new industry with a new use case that we call DeMe. So decentralized media, DeMe. And I think that this really is what holds the key for mainstream adoption. Just like Carl was saying, just making things a lot softer, easier, more familiar, frictionless for the grandmas and aunties and uncles to be able to jump into crypto, you know, posting pictures of their cats or grandkids, and without even knowing that they're using the blockchain through a really familiar application. So I think that this is really the key to the next stage in crypto, to bringing this to the masses. And this really holds, if it's not us, this will eventually happen. And once it does, that would be just open the floodgates to true DeFi, because then you're not going to, I mean, with DeFi, you don't really need a middleman. You don't need to put your money in a bank. But if we can really get this open and break it out, and just get the ability for anybody to normalize the usage of crypto and social media together, it really creates a lot more opportunity, exponential, for people to utilize DeFi. So they'll go hand in hand. And yeah, it's very exciting to be able to deliver something like this.
Great, guys. I really appreciate it. I'm pumped. Can't wait to see your launch. And again, on behalf of myself and Pinksale, thank you for being here and sharing everything with us so transparently and professionally. I really, really appreciate it. Also, everyone, I'm just, again, after this AMA, I will drop the link. Follow the instructions, please, and everybody will be happy. All right. Well, thank you very much, everybody. Unimoon team, congrats again. I wish you all the best. Have a great day. And I'm sure we'll all speak again soon. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Great,
Thanks for having us.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.